Nazi, bigot, racist. These words used to be the nuclear bombs of public life. You drop one of these on someone and it was over for them. No recovery, no appeal, that was it. Game over. But now you simply hear them so often, most people don't even flinch.
That's Nazi propaganda. Wow.
They've become the political equivalent of car alarms. Annoying, loud, and completely ignored. And that's the point. How words that once carried real weight, real meaning, have been turned into cheap, overused buzzwords that people simply don't take seriously anymore. Let's start with the obvious. The extremes of modern politics, but particularly the far left, love labelling people. I'm talking about the kind of labels that end discussions well before they even start. Don't want men in women's sport? You're a bigot. Against illegal immigrants entering your country? That makes you a racist. Dare to suggest that maybe, just maybe, a white woman is attractive? You are a literal Nazi promoting eugenics.
I will be the friend that's too woke because those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird. Like fascist weird. Like Nazi propaganda weird.
Dare to disagree with anything the far left thinks about any subject whatsoever? We see you, you fascist pig. It's the laziest form of argument there is. Why go through all the trouble of explaining why you think someone is wrong when you can just hit them with a phobe label and simply walk away, knowing that you won the debate with no contest from the other side whatsoever? It's like trying to win chess by flipping the chessboard and screaming, checkmate. You didn't win, you just ruined the game for everyone trying to play it. But here's the thing, this tactic used to work. It was effective, because people were terrified of being called these words. They had the power to end careers, break friendships, and leave permanent scars. But then something happened. The words got overused really badly for everything. It's like if your smoke alarm went off every single time you boil water. At first you'd jump up to check the kitchen, but by the fifth time, you just pull the batteries out and completely ignore it. That's exactly what happened with these labels and name calling from the far left. When you start calling every single person who disagrees with you about any topic a Nazi, the word Nazi doesn't mean anything anymore. When every disagreement is painted as racist, the term racist stops holding weight.
That's racist!
When bigot gets tossed around like confetti at a pity party, it loses all impact it used to have. Just think about it for a second. Words are supposed to describe reality, but when they're used as blunt weapons, they stop pointing to anything real at all. They're just noise. And people have caught on, which is why today, when someone gets accused of being one of these things, the reaction is usually just a shrug of the shoulders and a sarcastic, "Oh no." Anyway, take the protests in Australia on August 31st against mass migration. Thousands of people hit the streets because they're sick of overcrowding, unaffordable housing, and the fact that their neighbourhoods are changing faster than anyone voted for. It's pretty normal stuff. Infrastructure, cost of living, actual policies. But how did the media cover it? Every headline was the same. Racist rally, dangerous hate groups, Australia's dark side. Not a single word why people were actually there. Just slap the label and move on. And yes, we can't shy away to ignore the fact that there were people from the far right attending these rallies, most notably Thomas Sewell, the New Zealander who leads a neo-Nazi group. And yes, they did cause a fracas in Melbourne, but the predominant amount of people there were there to wave the Australian flag, show pride in Australia, and protest the government's policies, because housing is so unaffordable in this country that people are just finding it increasingly harder and harder to simply find somewhere to live that's within 2 hours of a major city. But then, of course, Anthony Albanese, our current Prime Minister, the man whose own migration policies are causing the problem to begin with, shows up to wag his finger and declare it all un-Australian. Doesn't even bother pretending to address the concerns, just hits the racism button. Racist, bigot, case closed for him. This is exactly how language gets hollowed out. People show up angry about real issues, and instead of hearing them out, the media and the Prime Minister just calls them names. This is lazy, it's dishonest, and it's why nobody takes these words seriously anymore. So here's where the backlash comes in. The more these words get abused, the less and less people care about them. It's the boy who cried wolf, but of course with slurs this time. At one time, if you got called a racist, that was serious stuff. People would demand explanations, apologies, career-ending consequences. But now, the average reaction is, of course they call me that. They call everybody that. And more concerningly, people are just saying, yes, I am, which is a huge worry in itself. So the accusation just simply doesn't land anymore. Instead, it exposes how weak the accuser's position it is. If you had a strong argument, you would at least try and make it. But when your only move is to call somebody a Nazi, a fascist, a bigot, or a phobe, this isn't a winning play. This is desperation for people who have no ground to stand on. And people do notice. In fact, many now treat being called one of these words as a badge of honour, because it means that they struck a raw nerve with the other side. The labels have lost their sting, and in losing their sting, they've lost all their power. But here is the actual dangerous part of this. Real racism, real bigotry, real hatred, of course, still exist. And when those words are thrown around carelessly, it makes it harder and harder to call out genuine cases of this. If everything is racism, nothing is racism. If everyone's a Nazi, nobody's a Nazi. When the language of moral outrage gets used for cheap political points and social media grandstanding, people stop listening even when it actually matters. It's not just annoying, this can cause real harm. It silences real victims, it dilutes real conversations, and it creates a culture where serious issues get drowned out by fake outrage. As an analogy, imagine trying to sound an alarm about a real fire, but everybody around you is too busy complaining about the smell of burnt toast. That's where we're at currently. And the people abusing these words don't seem to realise that by swinging them around recklessly, they're dulling the words they claim to care about. So why does this keep happening? Simple. It's because it works on their own audience. The far left doesn't need these words to convince outsiders. They use them to rally insiders. It's not about persuading you. It's about keeping their own team online. Call everyone a Nazi, and suddenly your tribe feels righteous for opposing them. Call every disagreement racist, and suddenly you don't have to prove that your policies and ideas work. You just have to prove that your opponents are evil. Take a look on any Reddit forum these days and Twitter pre-Elon, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Echo chambers of far-left people slurring everybody that they disagree with or who dares to come in with a counter-argument, no matter how mundane it is, as a racist, bigot, or phobe. Unbelievable how far gone this is, and it will continue to do so, but due to the pushback from people just simply not caring anymore, the reaction simply isn't there anymore. So this isn't really logic. It's not debate. It's simply tribal signalling amongst far left. And like all tribal signalling, it stops being about truth and starts being all about the power that they wield. So here we are. 3 sample words: Nazi, bigot, and racist. 3 words that once had the power to end lives and careers, now reduce to cheap sound effects in a political and social media circus. But the irony in this, by trying to silence opponents with these labels, the far left have actually made them totally meaningless these days. When every disagreement is painted as hate, the accusation becomes background noise. And when people stop listening, the real problems are what gets ignored, and that's bad. So the questions I'll leave you, dear viewer, with: do these words still matter to you? Or have they simply been shouted into irrelevance? Because if words lose their meaning, then the people abusing them just aren't weakening their opponents. They're weakening themselves in their own position. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos. Bye for now.